conversation.
Ain't really gonna be much to talk about after that. Long story short, nah, it ain't gonna be no niggas involved. Nah, man, don't tell me no shit like that, Kai. Are you serious?
For real.
I seen it. For pound pushing, everything in my life cleaned up. The crack music to the world they've been feeding for. The motivation for the underdogs, the ones that's overlooking us. Fuck them, put the honor. I don't know what they was living for. Power, pain, and pleasure. Keep my shit together. And the times I've been tripping could've put me on the stretcher or put me in the dirt. Forever what it's worth. And at times I make this shit worse. But my soul to soul mold things. Emotions can't control things. We bleed the same way. You think I'm food until you rage had the whole mind. Nobody is untouchable. I said you disrespected me. You really hurt my ego. Racing eyes through blind sack trapping 09. They sell dope, but I soaked the game and built the gold mine. Butler taught me structure. Cook showed me hustle. After that I paid my pass, so I survived through the struggle.
Through the ups and downs, the slips and falls, made it through the storm recharge. Bitch, I'm the embodiment of what I'm back at red farm. And I'm up now, never going back down. Make it out the struggle, beat the odds, I'm on their ass now. I'ma pimp the industry and turn it to a cash cow. Every motherfucker that took down, I bet they mad now. Sad now, no handouts, they hate the fact I made it out.
They mad, now they sad, now they hate the fact I made it out. Spit like Cam in Rap City, Cam draws bad bitches. Got a man, but when she act up, I tend to roam the city. Good things, she fuck bitches. Two of them and one of me, I hit a shot and get fucking 8 ass folks.
He don't like that shit. But we go let him roll with it. We'll get it all that.
We were OG too. We 25.
Hey, well, look, today, man, we got somebody we've been needing to talk to for a while. Well, not needing to. See, we done talked to him a lot. Not really on camera a lot, I'll say, but this is something that's gonna be special. Man, I don't really know how to introduce him. I don't want to introduce him because what we're gonna be talking about today it's gonna give you your own judgment. He's gonna go by many names today while we talk about it. He is, because he has gone by many names and he's done many things. So again, like I said, I'm not gonna introduce him with a name just yet. I'm not sure. To me, he's like my brother, good friend. It's Donn. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm feeling good. It's the first one. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming too.
Yeah. I remember we was at Goofy Spot. And I sat down and did an episode with y'all back then.
Timber's cool, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like some random shit we did too. It was long. It was a long episode too. We talked.
That was what it's time to be alive. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
Okay. But, man, kind of talk to him a little bit, because I got so much to say, man, but go get your shit off.
What? What's up, man? What you want me to get on? You already got somebody we need to talk about. What you want to talk about?
Well, I want to ask him, shit, how you hadn't sat down and talked like this in a while, man. Yeah. So a lot been going on in the world. We've been busy. Well, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Tell me where you're at, man.
The album, man. The debut album, man. Yeah, the first one.
This is the first one. This is a long time coming, man.
So shit, like, give us a little background, man. Like, where you from? How you got started with music? You know, your upbringing, all that.
Aiken. You know what I'm saying? Aiken, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? 8 You know what I'm saying? My uncle and my pops was rappers, but my uncle was a singer.
Yeah.
And the baby boy, my other uncle, he rapped as well. And, he actually was in a group with my uncle, and my pops rapped on his own. Yeah, that's my uncle. Yeah, David Jones, and then my uncle Kevin, and then my pops rapped a little bit back in the day. So that's kind of how I got started. My cousin G, Rashad Champion, he taught me how to rap. You know, so seeing him, my cousin Step, my cousin T, and then my sister, and my cousin Paris, and then, you know, around the crib, playing Apollo. And so that's how it all got started.
Okay. You say he taught you how to rap?
Yeah, G, Rashad Champ, for sure.
I know you say he taught you, but like what made you like want to learn and shit? I mean, you know, niggas try to teach shit every day. But what made you, you know, actually take him serious?
Just wanted to be like him. You know, I ain't got no big brother. You know, so I wanted to be like him. You know, cause I didn't know Marco David was what he was. I knew Splacker Valley, but I didn't know, okay, this nigga was signed to Atlantic 94 before I was born. And then he signed to Buffet. So I didn't know, but I knew, like, okay, I see my cousin G on this shit.
Right.
Yeah, I heard a couple shit from Rashad, man. Like, especially shit you did with him. Definitely dope, so I see why you wanted to be like him when it came to the music. But you know, before we dive into the music, I know you did sports and shit. You did football, so what was that experience like? Tell us a little bit about that.
That was interesting because I was so small.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I played, you know what I'm saying, South Aiken. You know what I'm saying? I played elementary, played middle school. Started playing football when I was like 7.
Yeah.
Never team. Played all the way up. Played a little bit in college. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the funny thing about it was I stayed in trouble a lot. So that's what got in the way of, you know. But you know, if I wouldn't have stayed in so much trouble, I wouldn't have had to go through what I went through just to get to a small school and go through all the hurdles I went through. But I was able to still go to school and play ball despite the fact, like, I got my GED.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it was so funny because I was so anxious to get out of high school because, like, you know what I'm saying, Butler was already in college. He was in, you know what I'm saying, Illinois playing ball. You know what I'm saying, Pope was in Philly playing ball. I had went up there to visit Pope.
Yeah.
So I was anxious to get the hell on. You know what I'm saying? I was real anxious because I was already in enough shit as is around here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So it was always, I know, like, you know, like when you was kind of still in the music coming up in sports, like I know that played a big part of it. Was it mostly the idea of like getting out of Aiken? Like was that the you know, just the idea of doing something else, being someone, did that entice you?
Not necessarily because I was doing music at the same time, so either one was going to take me out.
Right.
Like, I remember my sophomore year, I fucked off so much with football because I was in the studio working on my first mixtape. Which it wasn't my first mixtape, but I did an album. Like back then, it was albums. Like I did an album as a kid, it didn't ever come out.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? I was working on my first mixtape that I knew was gonna come out. I was with a new crew, shit was going, so I was like anxious to get that shit out. Cause I had been in the studio so much as a youngin' and nothing came out. So I was like, yeah, we gonna get this shit out. So I remember my sophomore year, I fucked off. And I ain't really started coming consistently to like damn near a month or two for the season. But if I would've took that shit serious, the outcome would've been different. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's the little shit like that. But I knew one of them was gonna take me out, so it ain't really matter.
Well,
Shit, so
I was say before though, nah. So you talking about sophomore year? I know you say you fucked off. Nigga, tell me about life in Tennessee.
Oh man, cotton.
What was it like getting out there?
I remember when I first got there, my mom cried. That was my first time being away from home like that. And I was far.
Yeah.
I was 8 hours
Shit,
away. Yeah, I was out there. So, you know, she cried. And me and my pops weren't seeing eye to eye at the time. So we kind of like walked out. We walked out the spot, but my grandfather was still there. And what Amos told me on the album, my granddad, his father, my pops. You know, my pop said what he said, but me and him still with him. You know what I'm saying? On the best terms. So he walked out, mom's cried. And I can remember, I was like, oh shit, I don't know. So I can remember the whole day, I was like, man, I ain't finna smoke no weed, no cheers. Shit, man, nightfall hit. I literally started walking around asking niggas, hey man, what the weed at, man? Who got the weed, man? What's that? And then right there, man, I met True, I met Gita, I met Matt, the first Matt I met in college. My roommate was named Matt, but I met another Matt, which ended up being the people that, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have been able to survive in Tennessee.
Connections.
Yeah.
Man, I would say like a lot of the people that you made, it was mostly sports connections though.
Well, True and Gita and them was, cause they played baseball. My roommate he played basketball, he played football. Niggas like LA from Memphis, Bookie from Alabama, all them boys was, cause they played football, basketball, vice versa.
what? Not to cut you off, but like, what school? What part of Tennessee? What school?
UT Martin.
UT Martin.
Yeah, Martin, Tennessee. So, you know, and Matt, the other Matt, I just met him. He went for Africa. Yeah, so yeah, those are my guys. Like, man, my roommate Matt, man, like, that's why I was funny. Your name was Matt.
We would say it again.
Like, damn, what the fuck going on?
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is Mathis.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You call him Suge, but this is Mathis.
Yeah. It was deja vu, man. My mama even tripped about that shit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, yeah, Matt was a solid, great roommate. Great roommate. Wasn't the best, like, he wasn't tidy. But he was
Good people.
Yeah,
Man.
I already know what that means.
And like I remember when my grandma died in February, Dad came up there and told me my grandma had died. And I was tripping because my nanny, I'm like, what the hell y'all drove 8 hours for to come up here out of nowhere? I thought, you know, because I knew all this shit I had been into, but I was doing it. I was like, oh Lord, it's over, it's a wrap. So they came, you know, whatever, they told me my grandma had passed away. So I came upstairs, I was crying, I came up to our room, and I can remember, I'm like, yo, what? And I told him my grandma passed away. So he proceeds to bust out crying. What's going on? Come to find out his grandma had just died on Christmas. We had just came back from holiday break. And his grandma lived with him. So that was, you know what I'm saying? And the funny part about it, his mom had just made me some PJs. Like she you know, had just made me some PJ right here.
So what?
Some PJ.
Pajamas.
Pajamas. Some football PJ. Yeah. So all that going on during the holidays, she still found time to do that for me, despite the fact her mama died. Yeah. Me and him know, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, pause, no homo, me and him cried together. That's how I knew he was solid.
Yeah. So damn, the family they came and told you about it.
Oh yeah, they came all the way up there. They drove 8 hours.
They understood what she meant to you.
Oh man, that was my best friend. That was my right hand. You know, she taught me how to shoot a pistol. She taught me a lot of aspects of how to be a man. 'Cause she was born in 1925, so you know she had it all. whatever she had.
Seen it all too.
Yeah, seen it out, had her, literally. Literally.
That's probably when fucking roads was dirty.
Yeah.
Horse carriers
Walk.
and shit.
Yeah, like she couldn't ride the bus to school. Yeah, so, she seen it all. So, yeah, that was my rock. Still my rock, for sure.
Yeah, I want to before we keep going in this Tennessee, I want to spin off for a second, kind of take it back to it, just cause like, and again, this is why I'm not going to introduce him as a name. I want to know kind of tell me the tale of the North Side. What is it?
Well, when you hear Indians and Chiefs, you know, my uncle kind of break it down, like, you know, a product of the North Side. I'm from the North Side, like Refrigerator Perry that played for Clemson. I grew up literally right behind his house, so you could walk through the little bushes in their house right there. So right there, automatically, that's a staple. You know, Michael Dean Perry was even one of my coaches in high school. Football coaches in high school. You know, I'm a product of the North Side. Like I'm from the heart of Aiken. Like Smith Hazel, the son of Union Street. Like I'm really from that hood for real. Like so, that's what it is. Like I didn't had a lot of rap names like you guys, but I done went by Breeze, I done went by J. Lee, Jones, Donn. I done been by a couple names since y'all done met me, Jones, Donn, Carlos, but Norfside Donn was because I'm from the North Side, and Donn came because they was calling my nigga Cook, recipe Donn first. And he started calling me Donn, you know what I'm saying, and then it just stuck. You know what I'm saying? It just stuck. You know, so it was like Norfside Donn. I remember Kirk, like, yo, that makes sense. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's me for real.
Kind of going into the music, man. I took a listen to that Blue Like This shit like one. Now when did you drop that? Like what year?
2011.
Makes sense because the sound and the beats sounded just like that time period. And I was like, damn, bro, like this is a different sound from what he doing today and from when I met him. Like that shit definitely evolved. So the first shit that I ever seen you and work with you with that Lil Jones Volume 3. And I know that project was surrounded.
We was listening to it. Yeah.
That shit, I know a little bit of that shit was surrounded by like what we was had going on campus.
Right.
You know, at Greenville Tech. So like, tell us about that experience, man. Like everything that inspired you, you know, from the people to the experiences.
Y'all inspired me. Y'all did. You gotta understand, man, at that time, when I first got to campus, I was literally sitting. You can ask this nigga this. I was sitting in the middle of the campus all day long. I wouldn't move. And I would just sit there and write music. I had a laptop in front of me and I would just literally write music. They went to see Straight Outta Compton. They was going every fucking way. It started to get me bitter. Like, damn, they ain't fucking with me.
So, got like break it down. It was 2015.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
Damn, I hate you. No, nah, damn, why you go here? All right. But 2015, man, we was all new area moving up in Greenville, man, and we was roommates, man, and that's how it started.
But
Jones,
y'all knew each other.
Yeah, we
Y'all-
all came together.
I was the
Well, to be specific, you know, him, Shiloh,
Me,
and,
Shiloh,
yeah,
so
all that shit,
right.
y'all from
right.
and it's
Hey, Jones, he was a
I'm from the 803,
He's a
but
homebody, man.
I'm from Aiken. They're from Columbia.
He's a homebody.
Yeah.
it was crazy because I remember like when we first met, and I know we kind of getting on top of it. And when we first met, I told you, I said, well, you remind me of my cousin that passed, you know.
Yeah.
And not just because, you know, the Crip shit, but you know,
just in general.
it was just like the vibe, the old soul, and that's how he was.
And
man.
what,
he rapped.
you remember what happened with me and you, man, fucking around with KD. That shit with that weed. And me and you know, I done stepped you back in.
If you went to Greenville taking 2015, you know, Katie.
Yeah, you know,
We fuck with you, man, but you definitely was some shit.
Yeah, like, you know, cause you know, and when you broke it down to me, I'm like, oh man, this nigga ain't even. So you know, and then that's what led to me and you building, and that's what you was telling me about. You're like, man, you remind me of mine. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know, and then eventually I met Quan. Yeah, I met Quan. Yeah, and then I met Willis, but yeah, like it was y'all. Like I can't remember. So you go from that point to me finally getting out now. I'm finally moving around now. I done met everybody. I'm out the house now. I ain't just stuck on the couch no more. Yeah. So all that material that was stuck on the couch that came blue like this, that came later. That came, but right. But Love Jones. Literally me sitting in y'all's spot, getting hiding out my fucking mind, serving everybody on campus.
And that tweaking song too.
You know, and being with them, having everybody come to the spot, smoke sessions with like 12 of us, girls, you know, Jelly, you know, which is like my little sister, you know, Kayla, you know, Bree sometime, Dominique sometime, and I was dealing with both of them, and you know, just Meg and Shantae, and we were like really a unit. Like my first day on campus, Jelly, which is Cook's sister, you know, like my little sister from Aiken, like. I was kicking it with them for the longest before I even started kicking it with them. Like I would be with a bunch of girls for like the first few months, and you know, then you know, I started kicking it with Dominique from Orangeburg, and you know, it was just like, okay, yeah, it's time. It's like I had already did volume 2. I had CDs around the spot, and I was like. You know, I'm single. I have been single for a while. I was like, yeah, it's time to do this. I was one of the older guys on campus, so that kind of attracted a lot to me. So it just made sense. But y'all was the fire to the flame for sure.
I tell you, that shit was a world shock at first, because I ain't never met a nigga like that, because, you know, like, Jones, he was, when we first met him, you know, when we were roommates, that nigga, he was antisocial, he was. And it was like, we thought, it was like, damn, bro, don't fuck with it. But, like, that nigga, he'll leave his fucking door wide open and be like, just telling y'all need some shit, or cooking breakfast and shit, but the nigga don't talk. He ain't gonna talk to you no more after that. That nigga's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, what time? So, yeah, it was a crazy ass, crazy shit.
You know what I remember? What? I can't remember what the fuck it was about, but with him and Dez.
I knew you was that's my nigga, because he be right here in my head. He be here. Because that's when Quan, when I swung Quan, yoked my ass up, like, bro, it's too early, like, we
just got here, too,
and I about fucked it all up. I swung literally. Quan got me though, and I ain't know who Quan was. I didn't buy on Quan, and Quan like, oh, bro, I'm trying. And you know what? I regret that, because what was so funny, you know, this one I knew he was a real one. This was his man. So I'm thinking, I know niggas from the Metro, like, I know niggas from Columbia, bro. Like, my cousin DJ from the Metro.
No flex though. I even told him that. Because I did think y'all boys would go jumping.
I know. We 803, but I know Columbia. Like I didn't, like I got people from up here. My family from like St. Andrews. I got a cousin from up here, like Apple Valley. Like I got niggas from 48. Like you know what I'm saying? For real, so I know how Columbia rocks. So I'm like, yo, like. I don't never take nobody appearance or none of that for nothing. I don't ever sleep on nobody. So I'm like, yo, these niggas gonna they younger than me too, but yeah, these niggas gonna lace me up. So I'm ready for it. Like You know what I'm saying? But I knew he was a real one when he pulled all us together. Like, nah, bro, we can't have this because we gonna be roommates. And this his mans. He could have been like, fuck me and just roll with his mans. Cause this his mans. He know this nigga. Like, you gotta think. Like, when I met Dad's pops, it was crazy because it was about some liquor. I came in the spot fresh from work.
Yeah, right.
Like, who the fuck did drop my shit?
Shut up, Big Money.
Yeah, I was like, man. And then his pop came with the paper and was like, yo, man, I went and got another one, ended up drinking out with his pop, bro. We done kicked it. And Dad's come in like, and then that's when I'm like, you know something, bro? Like, he's my little brother. Like, so yeah, that's when I knew he was a real one. So that experience was what I needed, especially coming from the Tennessee and grandma and dad. Not being able to play ball no more. I used to sit up there and watch college ball, like, it was a drag. Get drunk.
Like, I know this shit
Fuck.
off topic, man, but I just remember that time. I forgot who was them niggas that came to the spot because they was mad over some weed you sold them. Because you sold it to D. And me and Will was in the back in your room just waiting.
Oh, yeah.
And nigga, then as soon as that nigga grabbed the bottle, threw that bitch from
Yeah, cause Dante pulled up,
quick.
and when Dante realized what was going on, he like, oh shit, y'all was in the back, dog watching the game.
Right.
They ain't know
Just
y'all
listening
was
to
back
it.
there, right? They was gonna try to, you know what I'm saying, pull a quick one.
Yeah.
Cause I had sold one of they mans, you know what I'm saying, shorty some herb.
Yeah, that was, man, life's getting going bad that time.
And then, but you know, but that's how I knew y'all was real ones, cause that was like the first situation, and y'all just popped out the back, like, and then niggas were like, oh, and then shit.
Yeah, cause it wasn't just old boy. It was like two more.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Like, oh,
But
nah.
see, I knew Dante was the real one, cause when Dante realized what the jokes was, he went on here and played his position, and then next thing you know, them niggas love he was still in there. What else? Like Brian, like if I would have knew, that's when I knew, cause if he would have stayed and not said nothing, I'm like, man. He stayed and immediately was like, bro, dang. Cause Willis looked at this nigga like, oh, you still sitting here like, and he like, nah, bro, I ain't so, yeah, like we was, yeah, it was crazy, bro. Like, yeah, but yeah, I served, he got, cause I served his show. Yeah. What it was, I had served her for a price and I charged them higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What y'all do? So it's gonna cost.
But we ain't fuck with the niggas, so it's like, fuck you. Fuck you, nigga. Your bitch be around.
Lie.
Your bitch cool.
Yeah.
What's the reason?
Yeah, for sure. They was like family. Yeah. So.
No offense to the niggas.
Yeah. We still, we got love.
So,
No,
you know, so you know, we had back to the Love Jones, Volume 3, that, yeah. I definitely had a couple songs that I fucked with off there, man. I'm glad I was a part. I'm glad we all was a part of it, because, yeah.
Corn, meatball,
Yeah.
Love Jones, man, it was. I would say, Kai gonna talk about that.
They had some situation shit.
Yeah, he Kai gonna talk about that shit. Love Jones, bro. Like the Love Jones, you know, the idea is built off of, you know, relationships, things of that nature, right? That was. We know some very key events that kind of play pieces into Love Jones. But I was like, kind of taught us about that shit, man. What did it teach you? Take me back.
1, 2, and 3 just really taught me that, for one, as an artist, I can step outside the box and do whatever the fuck I want to do. That's what Campaign said. Shout out to Campaign. That's what made him want to work with me. He was like, yo, that seemed like you can literally do a whole project and stay the course. Literally a whole project speaking on nothing but relationships, ladies, my flaws, my trials, my tribulations, situations, relationships and shit like that. So it taught me that I gotta be more vulnerable and I gotta work on a lot if I want to be the one in somebody's life. You know what lot of times we point the finger, but at the end of the day, you gotta look in the mirror and kind of, you know. When you point the finger so much, eventually you gotta say, well, damn, I've been pointing it a lot. Maybe it might be, you know. So yeah, that's what I learned.
It ain't always like one person, but it's both parts.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and it's motivated because of my last name, Jones. You know, and I love women. I do, even though you know I love women. I really do. I was raised by a single mother. The most important women in my life are like my grandmother, my great grandmother, my mom, my nanny, my mom, my nieces, my sister. So, that's definitely what it's a lot about myself. My emotions, myself.
What you think about on that? When you go back, we had said you was like, you know, you gotta, it touch you gotta take it easy, you know, kind of slow it down when you. Well, I ain't never heard you talk like that. What you mean? You sound ready to do something.
I mean, nah, man, it's just at the end of the day, you know, if you're gonna be in somebody's life, you gotta be equipped. It's just like with him, you know, I told him today I'm proud of you, man, because he's equipped now. He's prepared to do what he has to do to provide for his, whether, you know, as a man, it don't even matter what's going on with you and your significant other. It's about what's going on with you, because at the end of the day, if your significant other decides to leave for whatever reason, you as a man still have to be on point, because if you fucked up, then everything gonna be fucked. If you notice, like, the guys that work hard and do what they gotta do, some of them still end up on child support, some of them don't. But think about the niggas that's broke and ain't doing shit. They end up on child support too. Think about that. You gotta choose your hard. You know, so as a man, that's one reason why I was supposed to have kids. I had 2 miscarriages, but I don't have kids for that reason. It's not that I wasn't ever equipped financially. It's just I wasn't ever equipped because look at what I'm an artist for. I ain't one of these niggas that's running around playing rapper. So my lifestyle and who I am, whoever is with me, like if they have kids, they have to understand that. But me doing all this brings home, I ain't not here not bringing home the bacon. And that's why even what we doing now is trying to bring home the bacon for not just myself, but for everybody. Because now we doing it a whole different way. So that's what's so important now, like really understand the part of being equipped, being prepared, and being ready to take on some shit like that. Niggas want to be laid up, busting one, but don't understand, like, yo, this shit costs, this shit ain't cheap.
Yeah. You don't like having fun though?
Yeah, I do. It's been harder the older I've got, but I do.
Why do you think that just comes with age, or you think that's kind of you just changing things up, doing shit a little bit different?
Not necessarily age, cause I ain't old, it's just doing shit different. I ain't old, you know, I'm just doing shit different because I did so much when I was younger that I fucked up from. So now you pay for it when you get older. If you would've did it a little different then, you probably wouldn't be in some of the positions you're in now, you know what I'm saying? Straight up. That's why I used to be on y'all so hard. It's like, you know, and I still be on y'all from time to time. Not as much as I used to, but I still be on y'all. Because that's critical. That's very critical, you know. It's real.
I like it. You sound you ready to do something, man. I don't know. That shit made me nervous. Like I said, the numbers ain't in my face. I tell you the truth.
What did you talking about?
That's all right. Yeah, you too, brother. You know,
He done did.
I think she should.
Yeah.
Great. You ever looked at minivan?
I don't know fucking really, man.
What you gonna get in the rain? Probably in the rain, bro.
Yeah. If I got anything as a family vehicle, it's gonna be a truck,
The SUV,
a
right?
Ram or some shit, or a fucking what's the fucking What's the SUV? The Chevy SUV.
The Suburban.
Yeah, Suburban.
Gonna make this nigga get the shit with the door closed automatically.
Yeah.
Man, so look, I want to kind of dive on some other shit, cause man, they always crucify me, cause you know they say I act like a young nigga. With listening to the music, the new shit, I'm gonna tell you, man, the new sound, kind of like what you're doing, and you know, once you guys hear this music, you understand what I'm saying. But like when it comes to like Can't Knock the Hustle,
Right.
and like stuff like you doing emotions,
Right.
man, I'm fucking with it. What's got you in that bag now? Cause like, and the reason I say this, cause and when you maybe kind of give me the answer I'm looking for, niggas they crucify me for, cause I don't understand. This the 2015-16 like SoundCloud era. That's one of my top eras of music. And niggas they say I'm crazy for that. So that's what I mean when you win the new sound. I like that shit. So what's got you here now? Cause I know what you do usually, but this is different. It is.
Yeah, this one different. It's different.
I mean, all the way through, but I mean, just kind of speaking to this track in particular.
I mean, we Can't Knock the Hustle, originally a young person was on it. And she didn't show up to a session that we did, and so we had to take her off the record. And what's so funny about that record is that's what they say is the Carolina sound, like that type of beat, that type of, But Can't Knock the Hustle, that was a title of a song on Jay-Z's first album, Reasonable Doubt, with him and Mary. So instead of somebody singing on it, I got another female artist rapping on it. What got me here now is just I can go here. I ain't never not been able to go there. It's just one of the things that, we literally have everything so structured where these projects that we've been coming out with have already had records in place for them. So it's like, it's been shit there, but it's like, oh, we finna drop Ready Rock, and we finna drop Next Level. The records are already there. They already been sequenced. The records like Next Level, New Devils, they sequenced. Ready Rock, same thing, like with the sequence there, it's already there. Or even with Phil Jackson, the record, it's already there, so it's like one of them things where when Can't Knock the Hustle came, it was like, I felt it. It wasn't forced, it wasn't like, oh, I need to. It was like, oh.
So you feel like, with this album, do you feel like this is probably the newest music that you've had in a while?
Because I started working on this album in 2019. I think the newest record on this album is probably Training Day?
Yeah. Training Day, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, for real?
That's
I'm fucking with that.
You remember when we came to that studio session you had?
Yeah.
Some of that music you played us is on
I think 09 Vision is.
I definitely remember the intro.
Yeah, 09 Vision is.
Intro.
Okay, yeah.
Intro.
Man, I mean, it's been a while since we heard it, so I
think that's it, though.
Remember that
That's
The only
it.
one I think I know the intro.
That's
I heard
it.
that.
I think that's it.
It wasn't finished though. I think it was on like
I think that's it. Yeah,
shit.
you're
Yeah,
right.
so that other shit you played us that time, you just got that shit in the bars.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
don't.
an EP right
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's an EP right
You got it's like, I can talk about it here. You got BCO mixtape coming in a couple of months. Some of that stuff might end up on there, but like a lot of the songs y'all heard at that first listening session, they ain't made that 09 Vision did. 09 Vision is like an old record that I had, like Cautious, 2019. So yeah, like it's been in the mix. How many projects that came out since then? What Next Level, New Devils, Ready Rock, Phil Jackson, and Northside.
That Next Level New Devils, even though I wasn't like around no more with that shit, a couple
But you
songs
came
on
up with
there.
the name.
Yeah, a couple of songs on there, I was around then when you made that shit back. A couple of songs, you made that shit back in 2017.
Yeah, you came up with the name of the joint. Yeah, you came up with the name. Yeah.
What's your favorite body work of yours?
Out of everything,
I'll tell you mine. If not this, mine would be like this artist.
it's either when Michael became Donn or Lord Jones writing 3, man. That was, yeah,
Time,
man.
That shit was different. I'm trying to tell you that 2015, what a time to be alive. That's
2016.
you had to be there to see that shit. So,
If we would have recorded what people don't understand is this, I've been around for a while, and I don't really give a fuck about the followers, the likes, whatever, the attention, the Jews. I literally been around. I was in the same rooms with Rennie. I was in the same rooms with Zach. I've been around for a while. I've been around for a long time. When cats like Mo Beats was like on the scene. I remember I used to ask you about niggas like, you know, sister, you'd be like, nah. Like, I was literally like, yeah.
what did you say? Whatever you like her.
Yeah, nah, literally. Real, like, I was literally, I've been around for a while, so if we would have recorded a lot of shit that was going on, we would have been gone. It's just at the time cameras wasn't, especially with everything we was into. Like, you think I'm finna really have cameras in the spot when I'm serving niggas all day long on campus? Nah, like, we was literally doing everything they doing now. Back then, we just didn't have it on. So if we would have filmed all them nights in the strip clubs, running through Atlanta, pinups, diamonds of Atlanta, all that shit we was doing, our lounge, all that shit we had going on, man, we would have been gone.
I heard they sold that motherfucker. You can't live out there no more. I had to tell you.
He did?
Mm-hmm. Ain't shit ain't for the students no more. They sold that motherfucker. He said, you niggas gotta get the fuck out of there.
That's right.
You niggas can't be.
Because after us, they really cracked down after us because we literally had shit in motion.
We was supposed to have kickbacks.
We was having kickbacks.
Niggas was cool. What was my man's at the gate? He was cool. The niggas
it's
supposed to be a security.
It was two of them. It was West was one of them, then the older head that I was real tight with. Like we had shit in motion, so you know, like, if we would have been recording all them nights in the clubs, running through Greenville, doing all that shit we was doing, when we was coming to Columbia, the Blue and the Vista, going to Charlotte, that club, this was even before I came, like, I've been around. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell people, man. Like, I really don't. Yeah. We was there, like, yeah.
I used to be high in my damn mind.
Yeah. Leaned up, sipping cup. And
But you remember Dez drunk your shit?
Cause that
Yeah,
nigga
he
would
know
not
Kool-Aid.
label shit. Hey, that nigga, where you go? He put shit in the refrigerator. This nigga don't label. You think it's Kool-Aid? It's up. No, that nigga.
damn, sleep all day with that shit. Corn, I got corn like that. Corn used to get up early like me. Got corn like that. You understand? Like, man, for real, man. Like, we was really on. That's why when I see everybody, when what's going on now is just like, you know, cause we didn't been there, done that. So now that's what be kind of so hard now. They like, okay, well, how you gonna compete now with everybody that, and you kind of,
How you look at it though?
I mean,
Is it like I guess I know you do see it as competition. You know, you play sports, obviously. You competitive, so. What do you look at it as so?
I mean, when you get an album like when Michael became Donn, you look at it like shit, whatever everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Cause I don't listen to a lot of other people's music, but if it really, I'm a hip hop head enough. I study the game enough, and I'm around enough to know if it was really that. And even when it comes down to my shit, like yeah, it might not catch like it's really that, but I know my ears. See, I know when I'm on the web and I listen to this shit, and I can feel that shit in the bottom of my feet. Or when motherfuckers that don't know me from a can of paint, I drop that link to, and they text me back like, yo, yeah, this is, yeah, you know, like Andrew Grant was talking about Cautious, like y'all to play this shit like. Back to back to back to back to back to back to back. This Bad Bobby ad on. So he's not consuming my type of music every day. He's no caps ad on. So he's getting Andrew Grant. No cap. And Bad Bobby, the cash by side chick. Yeah. So he's not.
What's the problem, Kyle?
You know what I'm saying? So when he listening to my shit, he like, yo, I keep running this shit back to back to back. Because you know what I'm saying, he's with something else every day. So when he get that, it's refreshing. I mean, you know, they just waiting on me to have the buzz and all this other shit. That not saying I don't give a fuck about it. It's just, you know.
Let me ask you this though, because I remember like back in 15 or 16 when all the little Yachty's and all that was coming out, you wasn't really feeling it because it's like, because I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't really feeling it then either because it was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, who are these niggas? And, like, what is this? Like, you feel me? How you feel about that shit now in today's, you know, music scene?
I mean, man, it's really like it kind of went to a point where when I see niggas like Uzi and Future doing projects together, you know what I'm saying? Or like, I look at situations like when you go back, and Gucci did the joint with Future, the Free Bricks joint. And I wasn't fucking with Future at the time, but I was fucking with Gucci. So when you fast forward and they do, I ain't fucking with Uzi, but I'm fucking with Future. But then there's a couple joints, like the Moment of Clarity joint. You know what I'm saying? It was a few joints up there that Uzi did. I forgot one of them. I forgot which one it's called. I actually got on my playlist.
Hold on. Time out for you. If you know this nigga, hold on, appreciate it, Uzi?
Yeah.
Nah, that's just lyrical.
Nah, that's not even what I'm talking
No,
about.
I know, but you listen to certain shit Uzi did, like on some freestyle shit, he really can rap. He just do the shit that's today's sound because that's what motherfuckers paying attention.
No, it ain't about the rap credibility. We go.
I mean, man, you used to be in the crib with me, man.
Yeah.
I'm blasting Scarface early in the morning. Y'all sleep. Y'all like, it ain't even the fact that you blasting this shit early in the morning. It's the fact it's Scarface.
Yeah, I was gonna say, niggas ain't care about the top of water. Yeah. But that shit opened the door though. It kind of opened your horizon. Yeah. So that's why I said I didn't hate it.
But I was already on that though. Like, you know, I've been a student of the game like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, when I look at that shit now, it ain't really around now. It's here, but it ain't really around now. Like, when the last time we dropped? It's been a little minute.
He working though.
Yeah, he working.
Something recently.
He working, but it ain't what it was.
Yeah. It was so crazy, man, because like me and this nigga only a year apart. But I'm not saying he don't respect, you know, the old music like the Jay-Z's, the Biggies, or even the Jeezys and 50 Cent. But I feel like we kind of got a different taste and shit. Like he like more of the newer shit. And I like the newer shit too, but I still listen to Get Rich or Die Trying or Thug Motivation 101. Let's get it. You feel me?
Right.
And all that shit. Like, come on. I even listen. Sometimes I throw on that pop, bro, and just listen to this shit I ain't never really heard. Right. Because I wasn't around at that time. Just to listen to it.
Why?
Even the
just to see what it's on.
Because you gotta understand, bro. They were the pinnacle of hip hop. Like a lot of these niggas that you listen to probably look up to these niggas and inspired them in some way, believe it or not. So even if you don't fuck with it, I feel like you gotta respect it. Even though it's a different, era of hip hop. I fuck with a couple shit that I never heard from pop that wasn't on the radio. Like I actually listened to fucking what the 7 Day Theory, what's that album? Illuminati. He talking some shit, man. You just gotta really,
I respect.
I mean, when me and you had a conversation way back when about the Tupac Biggie thing, you said you was more of a Biggie guy because your pop.
Yeah, and you can hear Biggie and Drake. Yeah, like I said, I've always respected what they did. But my only point to count, if we in the club,
No,
put that shit on,
I'm not
bro.
saying,
Like I'm not.
I'm not.
I mean,
saying
they gonna
that.
play Juvenile in the club, right? They gonna play.
I'm not
Juvenile
saying
in the
that
club.
though. I'm not saying play that shit in the club because I don't want to hear that shit in the club.
Play Juvenile.
But I'm saying
that
like,
ass
listen
up
to
in
it
the club
the whole
though.
time and really like.
You
take
don't want
the
to hear
time
back
to
that
dissect
ass
this
up
shit.
in the club.
But the way I look at it is like with you look at artists shit like our day and age, we more transcendent, bro. Like you could go. I mean, keep it real. You ask your grandma right now, who is Drake or shit, Lil Uzi Vert. You
ask
probably
your
gonna
grandma
know.
who Snoop Dogg is.
Ask your niece
Right.
or your granddaughter
Exactly.
who that is.
Who? They gonna know who Snoop is.
Maybe.
No, they all. Everybody
Pac?
knows Snoop. Even
No,
if they
bro.
never used
Your
to.
fucking grandma gonna sing a
My
Drake
niece
song
9
though.
years
I
old.
promise you she is.
My niece 9 years old. She know who Pac is.
Like
She
I
know
said.
her daddy favorite rapper Tupac.
Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I never listened to NWA or even Eazy-E
Right.
until Straight Outta Compton came out. And when I went to go listen to that shit and even Ice Cube solo shit, I was like, damn, these niggas was really like in that era. Them niggas was tough as
It
fuck.
was cold.
For real.
He just don't do that now. He don't. That's it.
Well,
But Ice Cube shit that he dropped now, cause he still drop here and there. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
listen
though.
to it, but that old shit like America, is it
American
Most
One,
Wanted?
right?
And Lethal Injection? Yeah, them shits.
Death certificate too. That was
And
another one.
what's that? He did an EP. He jacked like it's a song they called "Jacking for Beats."
Jackson for Beats, yeah, that was
He
the
took
one
everybody
after the
beats and
NWA joke. You gotta think about when you say shit like that. When you say like what Cube doing now ain't hitting, writers not hitting because you gotta think. You got guys like Cube, right? Cube is in another lane. He's doing movies now. He's doing big. But then look at Nas. Nas is still dropping great bodies of work. He's still hitting. Jay is still hitting. Pusha T is still hitting. You gotta think guys like Griselda and them. Pusha still hitting, man. You gotta think guys like Griselda and them. They in their late 30s. Jim is still hitting. These guys are like so. Kanye still hitting. Your boy Drizzy, like 36, nigga. He ain't young. Like
Change with the times.
they still
Yeah.
going. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's different. It's a different. Like with this album, I studied all those classic albums. I studied, Illuminati, 7 Day Theory, All Eyes on Me, Biggie, Life After Death, Diddy, No Way Out, which Biggie wrote, partly. Stevie J helped write it. All the Hitmen helped write that album. But Biggie, I listened to Scarface Untouchable. I listened to Juvenile 400 Degrees. I listened to 8 Ball Laws, Outkast album, Southern Playalistic, Criminal, ATL, and Stack on you. I studied so many older albums because that's what was gonna make this album. I wasn't gonna be able to sit down and listen to What a Time. No offense, because I love What a Time to Be Alive, but I wasn't gonna be able to listen to shit from kind of 2010 and up and be able to garner the inspiration I needed to create this album. It wasn't gonna work. It just was not gonna happen. Even if I would have tapped into Good Kid, Man City, Take Care. If I would have tapped into My Dark Twisted Fantasy. If I would have tapped into any one of these great albums that came out from 2010 on back, it wouldn't have been the inspiration I needed to create this. And probably none of them. Maybe down the line, like a My Dark Twisted Fantasy, yeah, Good Kid, Man City, yeah, but not too many after that. Maybe like the Future self-titled album, like I remember we listened to that together in the crib and we was getting so fucking high. It felt like we was on LSD or acid or something. We was just smoking weed, but that's the trip the music took you on, like some Pink Floyd shit. So, that's what it's about.
You never listened to 400 Degrees?
Or Juvenile?
Juvenile?
Not me.
But you listen to Project Pat, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he used to play that shit.
Yeah, I fuck with Pat all of
Yeah,
it.
for
I was
sure.
bumping that shit.
I mean, that whole thing, like, y'all was all on that Juicy J, Rubber Band, Banks
Yeah.
Way, Blue Dream, and Win. You gotta think, that's been, I grew up on that. My mama was bumping that. That's
Pat, hey, Project Pat got like, that nigga sound his
some
flow.
dope. Like,
Nobody can copy that shit, man.
Yeah,
That shit different, bro.
man.
That nigga is different.
So,
That nigga should still bump in 2022. I don't give a fuck who you with.
Yeah, you tell my old nigga, yeah, that shit gonna hit.
I play something by that nigga every day.
Hey, but look, check this out though. You got 3 seconds. Hey, count them down. I'm asking 3 questions. You're gonna have 3 seconds to answer each one. So this first one. Ready? Certified Lover Boy or Big Steppers and Mr. Miles?
3.
Mr.
Two.
Morale and the big stuff.
Oh, damn. Okay. Shit. Number 2.
You
Tom
said-
Brady,
hold
Drew
on,
Brees.
Hold on, you said who just
Mr. Morale and the big stuff.
Tom Brady, Drew Brees.
3.
Tom Brady.
T-Mac or AI?
J.I.
Damn, no question.
Okay.
You check T-Mac or AI? I mean,
AI was on my wall. I named my first album after the AI poster I had on my wall, the album. And I'm an AI baby. I'm still rocking the AI today. I did the AI in my album rollout photos just to show you.
How you feel about him putting Kendrick over that tree?
He didn't beat
Yeah. Yeah, alright.
He just had 3 eating that time.
That CLB was not. I mean,
Okay.
it did. For
No,
sure. For sure, it
Let
did.
that nigga defend that Kendrick.
No,
Defend it.
no,
No, nigga,
I'm
no,
not-
don't say nothing. Defend that shit. Kendrick, defend it. Look at the camera, defend it.
For sure,
Top 5.
for sure, it definitely did way more numbers than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. It definitely did. But that Drake shit was not what I usually like. Drake-
Numbers don't have y'all get caught up in numbers
Smoking on top.
because of what's in our hands.
Fuck that single, fuck that hard drive. Smoking on top. Right.
But like, come on, man. Like,
I hate it for him.
at the end of the day, you know, and I don't want to put too much of my opinion on that, but you know, at the end of the day, like, it's not really about the numbers, it's about the value of work that's being put together. Because you got to think about it. If Kendrick would have sold 300 racks like that back in the day, it would have been it's a double album, so it would have been 6. So he still would have sold the same thing that Drake sold. But in today's era, I don't think they counted like that. So I think it just was an overall like 3. Or they probably did it like like 1,000 for one side, 1,000 for us, so that makes 3 or whatever. But back in the day, that's how All Eyes on Me went platinum. Because it was 5 on one side, and the other side did 5. So that made it platinum. So
Why it's not being received well?
I feel like it's not being received well because, for one, when you get an album like Damn, you know what I'm saying? And then when you get records like, for example, what's the record with Taylor Page? I forgot what's that record? Cry Together or whatever. That's you can't ride to that. When you in the car and that come on, you turn. I don't want to hear that because that just been me. You know, I don't want to hear that because that's supposed to be like a skit that's on like one of my shit. That done been me. That's something Ike told me we probably could have did for like one of the records on the album. Like, so that's why little things like that is being received, you know what I'm saying, the way it is, because one, we kind of expect a little bit more out of Kendrick, but he didn't really care about that. He stripped butt naked, figuratively speaking, and he just created.
Actually dived into
It was
his
therapy.
life.
It was literally therapy. He was really admitting things. He was really confronting issues that he didn't do. Every rapper is demanding. Like, I could have came in here with this jewelry. I could be riding around in like this. I mean, we could, but when you really strip butt naked and expose yourself. And, you know, no offense, but you got certain rappers in the game that's not gonna do that.
Sure.
Because that.
So you think it's not being received well because he being too raw?
Not necessarily, because we get rawness all the time with music. It's just the fact that we expect different out of King.
I think everybody was looking for something like
You
damn.
looking for something like that.
Yeah.
You looking
But
for
he, like all this, like I said, all the shit he was talking about is all the shit niggas and do today. Like we cry together. Did you ever know that nigga was in like that type of nigga in a relationship? Did you know about all that shit in Auntie Diary?
Did I know about it? No, I didn't know about it.
Exactly.
Life. What the hell? What's your point there? Like I was supposed to
But
know.
this
that.
happens
But
all the time.
Drake talks about a lot of shit.
It's like when Jay come out and do the 444 record, and he talks about his mom, or when 50 say, growing up I was confused, my mama kissing a girl. People ain't catch that and hated her love. So that's been going on in the game when niggas been saying shit and it's like, oh, wait a minute, but niggas just don't listen.
Oh, you surprised that nigga said it's Auntie Trey. I'm not trying to.
Or you never know, it could be a lie just for the what's going on today in the shop.
That's that nigga saying that shit.
That's gonna strike her.
I'm not saying I'm surprised. It's just like that's something different Kendrick doing. He actually like telling you his life story outside of just going up around game makers and being in.
It's like how Drake was different. We ain't get Drake when it first. Like we was like, yo, this nigga soft. We didn't understand.
That's crazy.
We didn't understand all this vulnerability on records. Like we didn't understand Drake getting on records, really doing all this. But then after a while, it was like, I feel Marvin's on too.
Damn, that's crazy. So look, that's crazy when a nigga is like, that's crazy when a nigga talking about a girl, he talking about his feelings, he talking about his life, and he a bitch for 4 years. But a nigga talking about his aunt transgender or transsexual, that's, he's expressing his life feelings. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, it's like, it's
You
the
ever
same.
call Drake a bitch?
It's the same as Drake talking about like his mom and his dad relationship. It's all the same. It's all the same.
Exactly.
It's
We
all the
always
same.
knew about what the fuck
We
was
was saying the
going on in
same
his
shit at
life.
first. Like, who wants to hear about you and your mom and your dad getting a divorce?
The nigga talk about his son on fucking March 18th. He literally did the same shit on March 18th what Kendrick did on fucking Mr. Morales and the Big Step. What?
Yeah. So what's the point? That's what I'm trying to understand. What the fuck? Maybe I'm missing. Somebody bring it back to me. What the fuck?
It's all the same.
It's all the same. So I'm trying to figure out how you fuck with
So
Drake.
that
Drake,
shit's
but
not
you
being
fuck with
received
Kendrick.
well because it's not good. It just don't sound
What's
good.
not good about it? Oh shit.
Jones. Current events, last current event topic.
Yeah.
What? I know. Well, the way I said, I feel like Dallas did a lot of Golden State dirty work. You know. But what you think happened?
I don't want to talk too much about Dallas. I just say, you know,
Yeah.
when you're going up against a squad like Golden State and you got a squad like Dallas, for one, you got to look at, okay, you got Kid as a coach. Kid has been an assistant for a little. Okay, you got guys like Luka, but Porzingis is hurt. And Golden State is complete. You already know what you're going to get. It's kind of like what's understood ain't got to be explained in that situation. And then when you got guys like Kerr and Kidd coaching up against each other, it's like Belichick going up against a Sean McVay. Or it's like, and I can't say that. I say it's like Belichick going up against a guy like who? Somebody that's more seasoned. No, I won't say that. I say Mike Tomlin. I say my guy. Somebody that's more seasoned, but he can still get him. He can still beat him. It's one of those situations where Kid is seasoned. He can coach Kerr, but Kerr just he's been in those moments for fucking how long?
Yeah.
Literally.
The championship pedigree.
With the Fields, the Michaels, the Pops. As a GM with Phoenix, when we was in our heyday, as a GM, not a coach, a GM. It's understood ain't got to be explained in that situation, man. Golden State don't get that every time.
That's as much as I hate to say it on camera. I like Boston, but
I was about to say, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. Boston taking it.
I mean, when it come down to the finals, I don't really want to say much, you know. But what I will say is this, you know, those are two Pop predecessors. They come from the school of Greg Popovich. That's all I'm gonna say to that. They come from the school of Pop.
People forget that too.
We had that conversation. Me and Butler just had that conversation on when you come from. It's like the Nick Saban tree. It's like the Bill Belichick tree.
It's true.
It's like the Field tree.
It's true.
Steve Kerr come from both of them trees, Field and Greg Popovich.
I got words to say. Like, oh man, nah.
So I said, kind of taking it here, though, man. Getting back into the album.
Okay.
You know, kind of getting down towards, you know, kind of towards the end of it and things like that. It's
right.
A song that kind of stands out to me. It's called "These Demons," and man, you talking about a lot there. You know, just stand out things that stood out to the song to me when you were saying how you kind of had to leave shit behind. You had a lot of weight. You know, things were just damning you, and it wasn't really clear to you like that at first. So, like, kind of talk to me about that, because when I say that too, I feel like these demons, it kind of ties into, you know, you leaving Greenville, you know what I mean, and you starting up something else, and that's where I kind of feel like, in my story, I feel like that's where you kind of left the Don Jones, things like that behind, and you really kind of transcended into the Norfside Donn. So, like I said, kind of talk to me about that.
When you get a record like These Demons, that energy, I remember when I first recorded it, that day we was in the studio, and I laid it down, the energy in the room. It was a chicken there with her boyfriend. And when she was bobbing her head to it, he looked at her and she stopped. And then as time went on in the session, he eventually just broke out. And you know, These Demons, man, was always one of them records where I was like, I don't really know if I'm gonna be able to get in on this and shed these layers like I want to. You know, money and evil seeds grow so naturally. You in the field with a demon mentality. That's literally today. But that's what it was for us too. You know, like, you gotta think, a lot of niggas that I came up with caught 35 years right out of high school. That's 2012. These niggas still serve time today. So These Demons was really shedding a lot on top of what was going on in Greenville. Like, I wasn't always the best person. We want to dodge that shit, man. Like, when you're a person like me that want to be a better person and you want to improve, you know where you're trying to be and where you want to go. You know you ain't going to get there by being certain ways. It's just not going to happen. So I had to shed layers, and that's what These Demons was about. Really, shed layers.
That was one of my top 3 songs on it too.
I really do feel like, I don't know who out of SC this year is gonna do a real album. A real album. I ain't talking about no music. I ain't talking about no real album. But I feel like I got the best album out of the state this year so far. And depending on how the next 6 months go, I think I got it. And the numbers might not reflect it, the followers, like, all that really don't fucking matter. When you hear it, when you see what we about to do, and even the new music that's coming after, I don't know, man. If you ain't fucking with it, you hating. Or even if you don't like the music, you gotta respect what we doing and how we moving as a unit. From the podcast to the actual overall label. You know, I don't know, man. A lot of people don't really pay attention to me because I ain't one of them ones. You know, and even some people that know me, a lot of people don't like me. So I ain't everybody's favorite. And the more the less I'm giving a fuck about that. Because some of the people I realize that they don't really know me like that for real. But if they really got to know me, they'll love me. And it's so fucked up that it's gonna take fame, notoriety, being a so-called celebrity for that to, yeah, you know what, yeah, he alright. Like, that's funny. But that's what I'm realizing with this album.
Man, look at it this way. Jared Harlow will get a lot of hate from niggas in the industry. But he raw. He raw. You can't deny that shit. So.
Yeah, and he just dropped the album. It's one of them things, man, when you're an artist from SC, a lot of artists that got slighted when it came down to their debut album. That's why I chose to take this in my own hands. That's why I was like, okay, fuck it, we not sending this to Apple Music. We not turning it into the label. We gonna keep the album and put it on the website. And you come to the website and stream it just like you'll go to Apple Music. And if you want to download it, $9.99. And it's gonna come right to your phone. And it's just like if you was to pay $200 for the Kanye stem player. It's just like God Bless did if you was to pay $100 for the Nipsey Crenshaw album. We controlling the narrative. That's real independent. We really got a distribution deal. We ain't talking DistroKid. We ain't talking CD Baby. We ain't talking United Masters. We talking about a real company that we could call on Monday and say, yo, we need this on Apple Music by Friday. But it's like, if we really gonna say we the label, we got a podcast. What was one of the first things I told y'all about doing? Y'all? But I was like, man, when y'all start making money, that shit comes straight to y'all too. Oh, the move, y'all run that shit. You had a podcast, you start a media company, you put people under y'all, everybody's bosses. Let's not do this whole thing of ego and pride. Who, you know, this whole, you know what I'm saying, stick swinging contest on who to this, who to that, or he in position here. Let's not play that game. Let's do this the right way this time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit, with the podcast. Y'all boys want to move around and interview this one and sit down with this one and do that. Let's make this shit happen. A lot of other rappers just running around and rapping. But a lot of these niggas is my age or older and they not understanding that, yo, that time ticking. And, you know, what else you gonna do? Especially when you from SC and that shit ain't. Come on, man. How many artists in SC you know for real? They bumping their shit in Atlanta and Cali and all these places. Like, but when I'm in Atlanta, bro, they clowning us. They don't respect us. They don't know us. It's like if you from SC and you in Atlanta, you know who the fuck you know in Atlanta. It ain't like niggas running around bumping your shit. It's so many niggas in Atlanta. Why the fuck would they bump your shit when it's 30 niggas from Cleveland Ave that they actually grew up with that they finna bump and one of them niggas finna take off? Cause he actually connected to Thug. He actually connected to Baby. That's the same thing we was just talking about when we did a photo shoot for the album. Literally, like, when you were in Texas, who the fuck bumping a nigga out of SC when you got all these niggas in Houston? Let's be fucking real. Like, let's cut the bullshit and get real. Come on, man. Nobody. I don't give a fuck who. Name some, like, who the fuck they bumping in New York from SC? Nobody. Nick Grant just did LA Niggas Freestyle. Who the fuck from SC shared that shit? Nobody. Let's talk about it. Like, let's stop playing like just cause you see niggas on South Carolina, they pop. Or, oh, a nigga opened up. You opened up, you paid to open up for artists. That's not your tour. They didn't come to see you. That's why when the promo clip come out, it's silent. And it's their music playing. It's not, because if you really got them just cut the sound out of that shit and heard the crowd standing there. They don't know who the fuck you is. They waiting for the artist you open it up for. Let's get real. Let's just be real. Let's be 100. Let's really talk about it. They do a show in Florida and they take an artist from SC. Come on, let's be real. Who the fuck really like, yeah, this person from SC is that? Come on, man, let's be real. That's why I just be like, bro, like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, man. It's like my publisher, she was from Atlanta, and she used to always say, like, yo, why would you go on these platforms where if you go look in their comments, it ain't nothing but a bunch of bots and emojis, that shit ain't real. Why are you paying your money for that? But that's what we take to. We take to all that shit because it's what we see right here. I seen some shit that made me feel good. This girl from Aiken was asking the club promoter to bring a rapper from SC down to the city. He was like, I can make that happen. And I felt good about it. But that doesn't happen enough. What's gonna transpire from that? Nothing. He's gonna come, if he comes, do the show, and that's that. It's gonna be, nothing transpires and blossoms to nothing. Nick Grant been around fucking TDE for how long, and what's happened? Nothing. He been right there with TDE. Kendrick about to go. Q ain't been doing. J Rock ain't been doing. It's a clear path for Nick Grant to come and do what the fuck he gotta do. Where he at with it though? Let's get real and stop fucking playing, man. How long's that been with goddamn South Coast? Zach could have been like Dolph by now with DME with his own shit. Had to deal with like DME Empire. This shit could have been. That's why I say, bro, with this album, we cutting all that bullshit out. It's done for now. And we finna build and do what we about to do. We making moves how we making moves. Like, we got something that we just put in place that no artist in SC has ever done before. And we ain't talking, but it's in place. And it's the type of shit that's needed. Because what's the conversation? Or how South Carolina gonna compete with Atlanta? Why in the fuck is we talking about how a whole state gonna compete with one fucking city? One city. We ain't talking about Macon, Augusta, Atlanta, Jonesboro, Conyers, stuff. No, we talking Atlanta compared to a whole state. That don't make sense. Think about it. 864 with 803. 843 stated they sell. Charleston niggas bump Charleston niggas. When I first started kicking with these niggas, they was bumping they shit just like New Orleans would, Houston would, motherfucking Oakland, the Bay does. That's the type of shit Charleston got going on. But it don't go outside of the truck. It don't go outside of that though. I seen the artist ask a nigga in the video, man, well nigga, if you nigga, yeah, man, what's your show budget? What's your show budget like? What's your show tag like? And what's your monthly streaming something like? And it's like, what artist from SC is? You see more artists that ain't from SC coming here to do shows than niggas that is here. So how can you gotta ask your damn self that question? What artists from SC really eating off streams for real? Let's really make that conversation. When you look at niggas like Drake in the game, that it takes billions and billions and billions and billions of streams for this nigga to even make 1 million. So if you really want to talk streams, bro, you know how many streams it takes just to get one. So if you really doing streams like that for real, your name will be in the conversation. You not. So everybody from SC need to shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck how many followers you got, how many likes you get. I don't care. We got a lot of work to do. And every time we get to a spot, what happens? Oh, Ruin Boss G fight. When the World Star Days was going on, instead of these niggas in Columbia being together, Ru had the hottest record in the fucking country, and one of the hottest street niggas in SC, they beefing. So instead of these niggas coming together, and we man, that would have opened the floodgates for SC. Knock would have been on, everybody would have been fucking on. Even when you got the guys like Jetson and them now, it's still not happening. It's still not happening. What happened with Vino? Vino was gonna be one of them artists where you just woke up one morning and Vino was like, wait, you would have thought he was an industry plant, because he was coming.
Yeah, it seems like everybody we get that's...
Every time we get right, there's something. Every time we get right, something happened. Oh shit, what the fuck? Look what happened to me. Look what happened to me. You want to motherfucking take on more than you can motherfucking chew because you getting paper. You running around. You thinking, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. Then when you fuck around and look, oh shit, man, 4 years passed by, the game changed. They looking at Charlotte now. They ain't looking at us no more. You know what I'm saying? You got this nigga know, man, we was in Diamonds of Atlanta. Packed out.
Who the hell we bringing to that?
Rocco.
Rocco, hell yeah.
With the future shit we going down?
In the heat of it.
Like, called him as he was going out, man.
He said, man, y'all shut this shit down. We did. After us, couldn't nobody else go on stage and it was over. Even the bitch that was stripping for Spartanburg, she came back. Everything, like I said, man, everything has been right there in the palm of my hands with every artist in SC that has been in the spot. I ain't just talking about that that's been in the spot. Like, I remember when we was at a meet and greet, I'm standing next to Mo Beats. Mo Beats got the highest record, and SC got one of the highest records in the country, Breadwinner with Trina. And I'm in a meet and greet, and it's just him and his like manager. You like, that's Mo Beats? Well, it was the same thing with Lucci. It was the same thing with Rollo. These niggas were some of the hottest niggas. We standing next to Lucci, me and Dre Man. Shout out to Dre Man. We standing next to Lucci in the meet and greet. He dolo. Right here in Columbia, bro. Everybody that came right here through right here. Everybody. So we got a lot of work to do, man. We be in the news for the wrong shit. Motherfuckers be talking about Rennie relationship and not her music. Rennie one of the coldest rappers in rap. Not no female. Rennie one of the coldest rappers in the game, and we don't talk about her music. Well, I ain't gonna say we. They don't talk about her music. They talk about her relationships. They talk about her personal thing. PG Rock did the deal that Rue should have did. Instead of signing the Def Jam, he should have signed the Asylum with guys like Mike Jones and Paul Wall. When the South was right there, he should have signed that deal instead of going to Def Jam, where they not gonna really give a fuck about you because you from South Cat. They don't know how to push you. PG Rock took the deal that Rue should have took years ago, and he had the record with Black. He did everything the way he was supposed to do it, and we didn't get behind it. We should have got behind that shit just like we got behind Stanky Leg back in, 08. We didn't get behind it. So, it just...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. PG should be like head right now. Not saying he ain't doing his
We ain't talking about that no more. We talk about him and Rennie now.
That's right.
That's my point. That we always, and every time it happens, what happened? Atlanta niggas just be sitting there like, yeah.
And I don't think it's his fault. It's the supporter.
Yeah.
South Carolina ain't supporting.
Well, I won't say this. I can't blame no SC not supporting. This is what I say, man. The world bigger than SC. We got 49 other states in this country. If Hootie and the Blowfish and Darius Rucker and them can do what they did in this country, we can do the same shit with rap. Rap just the biggest country nowadays. We got Stephen Colbert on TV, bro. He from Charles. It ain't no excuse. We got Charlamagne and God. If Charlamagne can be in Black Zach comments, why the fuck Black Zach can't be on the Breakfast Club? That's why I look at niggas like Charlamagne funny sometimes. You in Zach comics, but you can't get them up to the Breakfast Club. Come on, man. Don't play that game. He done been up there to Power 105 too. So why he can't come one section over right there to interview with Shaw? But you in his comments like the Grass King. Come on, man. Let's not play that game. We got a lot of work to do. That's why I be on y'all so hard about the podcast. I'm like, yo, look, man, at the end of the day, y'all don't need me as the executive producer. Y'all young, y'all figure that. But one thing that y'all would lack without me is that right there. That knowledge of knowing y'all ain't nobody else in SC doing what the fuck y'all doing. Take off with this shit. Do what y'all study, what y'all, and take this shit and run with it. Let's make it happen. Y'all niggas getting fresh. Y'all niggas putting the plays together. Y'all got everything the way y'all supposed to have it. And we been had it this way. But now it's really, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, you been tech savvy. You been in the mix savvy. Y'all, man, just make that shit pop off, man. Cause ain't nobody else doing what y'all doing. And there's other people doing podcasts SC. But they ain't coming like y'all. And I would say that if I wasn't executive producer of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to just cut all this bullshit out and let's get to the real meat and potatoes of this shit, man. Cause y'all know what time it is, man.
I feel the same.
Y'all knew it was coming.
I ain't gonna stop.
I got a shot boy. I ain't want to stop you, man.
Like,
Damn.
I feel the same way you feel. I just don't want to step on other niggas that's doing this shit totally.
Right, no, and it's not stepping on toes, it's being real. We got at South Carolina, if we don't go ahead and start getting out of delusion, we're gonna forever be chasing our tail like a dog in the yard. My uncle just went viral in Atlanta for driving a Mustang with like Ferrari tags or some shit.
You know, fucking with.
Yeah.
What? You hear your old ass cracking them damn bones?
I ain't cracking.
What do you say?
You seen that shit. Yeah, the white one. Right.
Hold on. Hold on. What happened? He did what?
He went viral for like, he got a Mustang, but they got like Ferrari tags and shit. He went viral for that shit.
He replaced the lights at the Ferrari.
Yeah. He went too far. But that ain't the point. My point is this though. People don't realize like, yo, this nigga was who the fuck he was.
He just did.
This nigga then went more viral for that shit than who the fuck he. That's like Stevie J being more known for love and hip hop than, yo, this nigga motherfucker was already to die. Life after death. Like, yo, this nigga penned some of the greatest records in history. But we only know this nigga from It Was a Foggy Night. Lettuce.
He did hell, what?
Like, dumb shit.
I'm trying to tell you.
Like, so yeah, man, like, it's just little shit like that with me. That's why I don't really give a fuck about.
I feel you.
I bag shit. That's a hell of a sound bite, man. Like I ain't want to stop you.
Hey man, you know, it's the debut album. It's time, man. You know, and if you don't fuck with me now, you ain't never heard it now. You won't, you know.
You will soon.
Yeah.
Man, we gonna wait on the fortune reason, man. But honestly, man, how you done talk to you know your friends? What you want to leave everybody with, man?
We building, man. I'm building from scratch. You know, we starting. You know, this is the new. Now that this album out, you know, we got a lot that's going on and coming. I'm getting back in that space of moving around again. Like last year, I went through. You know, you know, last year, man, I went through a situation. Should we even get into that? But I'll just say this, you know, we just blessed that I'm free. And we're able to move forward because if things would have went away, none of this be. And it held up the process too. And I remember I had a conversation with you, and this was the first time you said something to me that made you, it was like my little brother talking to me on camp. You said, man, I was pissed off at you because you almost fucked it all up. Yeah. And I ain't get it at the time because I was still dealing and healing and feeling. But after a while, I said, yeah, bro. I really did almost fumble and drop the ball. Like, not saying I was wrong for what I did because I'd do that shit again, but yeah.
The
If I would have handled steps right properly beforehand, I wouldn't ever been in that situation in the beginning. And that's one of the conversations that we've all had. And so when you fast forward to now the debut album coming, you about to be back in the mix. You're 27 now. Times have changed now. You got young niggas you was coaching that's hitting you like, hey, Jones, I'm ready to get in the studio. So now they want you to go from Coach Jones to Dr. Dre. Now they want you to curate their career. Now they want you to be the ones overseeing their career just like you was coaching them. So some of these same kids you was coming out there a while, now they finna be, they probably finna be the next artist, the first artist we signed to this new shit we doing, the podcast, everything that's going on. This album, all this, yo, the Love Jones Volume 3, me meeting y'all, all this shit. This album would not be possible if it wasn't for all that, everybody that's here. It's a lot of people that ain't here. Wasn't none of this shit. Even meeting people like Aiken, meeting people like Christian when we met them. People really don't understand what's finna happen. Like eventually, this finna turn to something else. Eventually, your son literally like gonna be able to have the world at his expense just off what you've garnered through what we doing. And you gotta think niggas gonna be doing other shit. All these other businesses, just box trucking, cars, all this other shit niggas gonna be into off. This album is the bigger picture, man. Real nigga shit. Like and I done put out a lot of music, ain't none of it been that. I tell you that much.
You sound different, man.
Yeah.
On what I can tell. Like listening through it, going through it. Like I said, you in a place, man. You are.
Shout out to Rue, man. Shout out to Rue. Being in Atlanta, man, like they took care of me out there. Like they really opened up the floodgates for me in Atlanta, bro. Shit was tight, shit was sticky. They took care of a nigga out there, man. Shout out to Rue, shout out to Bree, shout out to Aisha, man. You know, shout out to Rue, though. Big shout out to Rue, man. We with you, bro. We with you, man. You know, Rue going through, you know, a tough time right now. We with you, bro. Like, for real. Like, Rue took my sound somewhere it ain't never been before. And Rue ain't know me from a can of paint, but that first session, it's always a thing when I'm in working with a new person, new session, I have to show them, yo, I ain't need to be fucked with. So I come in and we re-recorded these demons. We re-recorded Caution. And he's like, album on the way, freestyle. You know, so yeah. Thank y'all, man. If it wasn't for y'all, this shit wasn't potent. You know, R.P. Cool. You know, Deuce Tune. Everybody, man. You know, the life. You know, shout out to Justin Hayden. Shout out to everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? All the women that I've dated from, I say 2015 to here recently. Shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody, man. This album is lit, like, man, y'all, like, yeah. This is important. Y'all know what time it is.
Shit, when it's dropping.
But you know, we're waiting on the Lexus. We're gonna get a Lexus record on there, so it's gonna be out. Probably on the 10th. It's gonna be on the website on the 10th. So you're gonna come theimprint.com. That's where you're gonna be able to stream it at. Theimprint.com. THAIMPRINT.com. Theimprint.com. You're gonna be able to stream it if you want to download it, $9.99. And you know the dope thing about it, we got artists like Ocean on here. She's from Detroit, Kiwi Sweet. She's from Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? We got Alexis KR. You know what I'm saying? She's from Clarksville. You know what I'm saying? So I'm working with other artists, not just, you know, and yeah, like man, it's crazy, man. I'm ready for the dinner next week. Second year we done did it then.
Nice.
Podcast. Y'all guys, I'm proud of y'all. The pod, you know. My first time officially being on here. Y'all got all these episodes coming up, all this shit y'all got coming up. You know, y'all even finna be in the lab with me. I ain't gonna spoil it, but y'all even finna be in there with me. So, yeah, man. When Michael became Donn, man.
That's it.
Yeah, I dodged prison.
I could have said that shit no better, man. Hey, God, man, how you feel?
You said you dodged prison.
I dodged prison, I dodged coffee. We here, man, and it feels so good. It feels amazing, man. It does. It does. It feels good, man. I'm back. I'm about to be back now. Literally. You know, all these times we was just talking about and reminiscing about. We older now, so it's gonna be different. It'd be funny when we be in these lounges and we be in these expensive ass restaurants and these white folks be looking like, you know, it ain't the regular club such and such all the time no more. But that's dope though, because we gotta transition and evolve. We come from the hood, like I'm from the hood. I want the most gangster street nigga. But I'm from the hood. I got it in. I was active. I was in activity. It was that. So to make the transition, man, you even know, y'all know how I was. Everything me and you went through. Everything. Yeah, it's it, man. It is. Everybody's life finna change out this shit. Everybody's family and their life finna change. Like, it's gonna be dope when I see you bless your mom or something off what we doing. Everybody's moms got houses and cars and shit. What we doing. Like, this what this shit is going on. It ain't about a bunch of niggas being posted up at the gas station with money everywhere. We did that, what, back in 07? 7th grade. Like, that was MySpace days, literally. That was like Kodak pictures, like, literally. We gotta go to Walmart and print that.
Niggas got hooked the camera to the computer.
Yeah. We was still in the club paying $5 for the pictures. Like, we was still in the club paying $10 for the pictures, literally. So that's why when I see people like y'all, it's weird to me to have a photographer. It's not comfortable, but it's the era. But yeah, we was literally paying $10 for a picture. Standing there like, literally like, to be here now. One of my exes was like, oh, that camera, be having a camera taking pictures. But she knows she was there 2012, like 2011, 2012. Man, put that shit up, you'll get your ass whooped pulling out a phone talking about what? So it shocks her to see this, but it's what we at with it now. And y'all, once again, you was the first one to literally, what you doing? You like, hey man, it's where it's at now. It's just be good. So I thank y'all. I'm blessed for y'all. We're Team 338 Imprint. I thank everybody. I thank people like A coming in. You know, it's funny how God changed the leaves on your tree like seasons. We lost some leaves and gained more, and these actually look way better in my opinion. So. Hey man, I'm ready, man. Somebody pass me a cup to take a shot. I know y'all want to wrap this shit up, man. When Michael became Donn, man. I'm tired of these niggas playing with me, man. Hey man, Norfside Donn, man. Norfside Donn. I don't give a fuck about all that other shit y'all niggas got going on, man. But I love everybody, man. South Cat shit. Baby, hand me my cup, man. Let's go. Let's get it started.
That's all right.
Nigga walk off set.
No, due respect.
Yeah, I ain't walking off like raw. Yeah, ain't walking off like raw. With a cup, I put my cups up with a nigga. The album is gonna be out. We already floating around to the tastemakers and everybody now. You know what I'm saying? 2 singles out, Not Training and Cautious. You know what I'm saying? Some cups already been poured up. I seen niggas pouring. We was over here, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? We've been waiting on it.
Decent.
About to get some more fucked up. Catch some more, probably catch some more shit, cause I know I'll be getting. Hey man, I thank y'all, man. This shit wouldn't be possible without y'all, man. It ain't no Iron Team, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Even Jordan had Pimpin', even Kobe had Shaq, man. Straight.
Awesome, y'all take it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's up, man?
Yeah.
Well, you know. You know.